Hey guys, so today we're gonna take a look at a really exciting product. This is the KZ-S2, KZ's latest foray into truly wireless pairs. And personally for me, I'm really a big fan of KZ's in general because of course they're bringing their wired experience to wireless. And KZ really knows how to please the market in terms of the overall sound. So the KZ-S1, S1D, and also the E10 are really great sounding pairs for the money. Of course, some of them have connection issues, but in terms of the overall sound, they're really great. So the KZ-S2 is around $30, a little bit more expensive compared to your KZ S1D, a little bit more cheaper with the Sabbats, but you know, it's gonna be better because of the hybrid configuration in the KZ S2. We're gonna find out in this video. But before we unbox this, let's go to the specs first. This has Bluetooth 5.0, so really nice in 2020. Of course, it's a hybrid configuration with a BA on top and of course dynamic driver at the bottom. That's AAC support. It uses Realtek drivers. So of course, for iPhones, really nice codec to use, and some Androids also support it also. Of course, it has a mic also, some splash resistance, and also the battery in the case is 500 milliamperes. So it's 200 milliamperes more than the KZ S1 and S1D, so it's nice that you have, you know, better battery life on this. The lowest battery is much the same, 3.5 hours, and also of course that nice looking design, that Sabbat kind of looking design, and all for $30. I would say, you know, right off the bat, even if we haven't opened the box itself, that's a lot of value for your money. But let's open the box now. Of course, also big thanks to Lin Soul Audio for sending this over. Links down below for their shop. They're the first ones to release the KZ-S2. Opening it up. So right off the bat is what you're gonna get, of course, the TWS itself. And of course, inside you do get your USB-C, which is nice. And of course, additional tips as well, and not a lot in the box. So looking at the TWS itself, it says KZ Acoustics. In terms of the dimensions, this is much like your Sabbat E12. It's kind of like that. This might be a little bit bigger, and the finish also in the plastic is a little bit more matte. It's not your glossy kind of plastic. Frankly, for me, I prefer a glossy plastic over a matte finish, especially in this kind of devices. All plastic in build, it does feel a bit weighty. You have chrome at the back. Of course, you do get the pairing button here, and the charging is actually here at the bottom. So frankly, for me, I don't like this positioning. I do prefer the Sabbat positioning, like around here. So it's more easy to use compared to this one. This is kind of an awkward positioning with the USB-C. Opening it up, and this is what you're gonna get. It's much like your KZ kind of design, but what's really interesting here is you have some fins, which is something I like. So this is a very nice addition by KZ. This will fit on the ear really well. So the Sabbats, I'm not really a big fan of the fit. It's not something that you want to use for maybe some fitness or, you know, some extraneous work. But now with the fins here, this will be better fitting on the ear for sure. It's an IEM kind of look. It's a custom IEM kind of fit. And of course, there's a lot of curvatures here, and this might really fit well on the ear. So frankly, for me, in terms of the overall build, I'm just okay. I'm not that impressed. I'm impressed by the lobes, but the case, I'm not that impressed. Right, fit-wise, this is one of the best fits that I have worn in a TWS. I would say this is slightly better compared to the T200. Both have fins, but this is better fitting on the ear for me. So these are really stable on the ear. In terms of the overall look, I do like the look. It's an all-black kind of design, understated also, and you have that custom IEM kind of look, which is something I really like. Comfort-wise, these are a super snug fit. So this is not the most comfortable pair that I've worn, but I can see me wearing this for several hours without any issues. But I would say Sabbats are more comfortable compared to this one. Isolation is also really good on this one. So because of that in-ear kind of design, isolation is pretty good overall. So you can definitely use this for maybe playing or commuting also. The pairing is really easy. You just need to remove the lobes outside, and then it pairs right away. So I didn't encounter any major issue. I did use an iPhone in this test. The connection range is also pretty good, around 8 meters in my actual usage. From my phone, I walked outside. This falls right smack in the Halo GT1 Pro, so pretty good connection overall. I didn't encounter disconnections in this. So this is the mic test of the KZ-S2. So it falls right smack with the KZ-S1 and that kind of price range. It's understandable, but not the clearest. Has a bit of muffling to it, but definitely you can use it for some calling. I'd say not so bad overall, but definitely not the best mic that I've heard. Also, connection stability is pretty good overall. There are no major issues. So now KZ figured out the connection issues I didn't encounter here with the KZ-S2, which is good. Whereas overall package wise and build wise, I don't have any major issue. I don't have any game breaking issue. Of course, it's not perfect. The case can be improved and also would be better if this has aptX, but overall it's not a game breaking issue for me. So of course that is a good sign, but now let's proceed to the sound. So firstly, does this sound good? I would say an overwhelming yes. So I really like the sound in this one. So for me, frankly, I would even go as far as declaring this our $30 hybrid king. This is the best hybrid TWS that I have heard, and for me, frankly, this might even dethrone the Sabbat, you know, in the around that kind of price range in my recommendation. So that's how I like this one. So this is a V-shaped kind of sound with a slight treble elevation, not too much, just a slight elevation. So it's a little bit bright on top. So these are not your bass heavy kind of IEMs. It's different compared to maybe your Sabbath, which is really bass heavy. This is not like that. So this is more of an enthusiast kind of tuning, much like your KZSN Pro or ZSN, something like that. We're gonna compare that also in a few. It's a musical and fun sound overall, so definitely a lively, engaging kind of listen. Of course, this is a hybrid kind of sound, so it has clean highs and a bit of a smooth, boomy bass at the bottom, so it's a mix of both. So highs have some micro detail, definitely prominent in the mix. It has some shimmer, not a lot of shimmer, so this is not your super peaky kind of highs. This, I would say, is still well controlled. So this is also airy and musical, again, very engaging. Overall, I find the highs here better compared to the KZ-S1, because over the S1 is more controlled in the highs department. As I mentioned in my review, there's some peak in the S1, so it's a little bit more shimmer on top. So this has a more controlled shimmer, which is something I like personally. So better cymbals here, of course, better highs and brass on top. So really nice highs here overall. So it has more body for me overall. However, this has a bit of sibilance again on top. So for treble sensitive people, this is a little bit bright on top. So mids are pretty good. I would say these are the strength of the S2. This is the best that I've listened to in a hybrid TWS, definitely. So if you're into mids like me, so that's why I really like this. This might be the pick for you. So it's more in the clean side in terms of the overall presentation, very musical and lively as well. So still recessed, of course, because it's a V-shaped kind of sound, but not bad in the placement in the mix. So the vocals are nearly there in the male vocals. The female vocals are better in terms of the positioning. So the vocals are clear and also pretty good detail overall, but of course this won't match your multi driver counterparts. But in terms of mids, yes, I do like the mids overall. So this has some air also in the vocal delivery. So this is not your veiled kind of mids. This is fairly revealing overall. So overall, yes, engaging, nice mids overall in this one. So this is the best mids that I've heard in a TWS. For a hybrid in that kind of price range. Bass is boomy, so definitely present in the mix, but again, this is not your super bass forward in ear. So this is more relaxed in the mix, but definitely still boomy and present in the mix. It doesn't go super deep as well, so definitely these are not bass monsters. Again, this is more of an enthusiast kind of tuning. This is not your bass heavy kind of tuning. Soundstage is above average, not super duper big. Separation is pretty good on this because of the BA on top. Again, it has some cleanliness on top, which improves the separation. Detail wise is fairly good, especially for a TWS. So again, that BA on top, this resolves even some micro details. So for some acoustic tracks, this really shines. Imaging is just average for me, so not the best that I've heard. So yes, in terms of the overall sound, I'm pretty impressed with this, especially for a TWS. I think KZ nailed this, but let's compare it to other TWS here in the channel and even the KZSN Pro. So compared to the KZ-S1, the highs in the S1 overall is more prominent. So again, more peaky in the S1. So S2 is more controlled and also better tuned overall. So I do like the highs again in the S2. The vocals are better in the S2, more revealing, more airy and more forward in the mix. I find the vocals in the S1 to be a little bit more back in the mix compared to the S2. The bass is similar. So yes, the S2 for me is an upgrade from the S1 in terms of the sound. I do like the tuning in the S2 more than the S1. Compared to the KZ S1D, the full dynamic driver counterpart, so the bass in the S1D is more prominent in the mix. So for bass heads, you might like the S1D better. The S2 has better detail overall, again with that PA on top. The mids are also better in the S2. It's more revealing, also more detail. Highs in the S1D again have good tonality still, as I mentioned in my review, and also nice tuning as well in the highs, but I prefer the S2 highs more than the S1D because of the better detail retrieval, more lively sound overall, and I'd say better tuning overall as well. So yes, I do like the S2 over the S1D tuning wise, and also the overall sound and detail retrieval. So compared to the TRN T200, the T200 is a hybrid from TRN, around the same price, maybe even a little bit more expensive compared to your KZ-S2. So both are hybrids, so similar in the sound reproduction overall, but the S2 for me is better tuned. So the T200 is more peaky on top. Again, it's a little bit more bright on top, more thin sounding in the T200. I mentioned that also in my review. The S2 is better tuned overall, better highs, more controlled highs over the T200. The vocals are better also in the S2. It's more revealing, more forward in the mix compared to the T200. So overall, yes, I do like the S2. It's for me tuned better package over the T200. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna ask this, but compared to the KZ-ZSN Pro, so the KZ-ZSN Pro is one of my top recommendations under $20. Both are hybrids and both are made by KZ. So how do they compare? So it's very near for me, but I find the ZSN Pro is still brighter overall. The S2 has more controlled highs overall. The mids and vocals are also more forward in the S2, so the tuning is a bit more mids forward in the S2. Frankly, for me, I prefer the tuning of the S2 over the ZSN Pro. The ZSN Pro is still no slouch. It's still pretty good for the price. But overall, sound-wise, I do prefer the S2 already more than the ZSN Pro. So compared to the Sabbat is more expensive compared to the S2. Frankly, I don't have the Sabbat here in the lab to do an A/B test. I already returned it. But from what I remember, I think I prefer the KZ-S2 over the Sabbats. I do prefer the signature of the S2 because the E12, while it's good, it's a bit more bass heavy than what I would like. Also, the X12 is a little bit more thin sounding than what I would like. So I do prefer this one. It's fuller sounding, better detail retrieval, of course, with that BA on top, and also nice tuning also. So I do prefer the KZ-S2 for me over the Sabbats. But take note, guys, just to be transparent with you, KZ has some manufacturing issues before. My unit is really good. So this is a very new TWS. So I'm not sure if all the units will perform the same as this one. So hopefully they do manufacture this really well. But just a disclaimer, so make sure if you're gonna buy your KZ-S2, make sure there's a return policy in the store that you're gonna buy this. If you encounter some issues, you can return it and get a new unit, a working unit with you guys. But hopefully, yes, KZ figure out how to manufacture this without any connection issues. Alright, so verdict. So yes, for me, this is an easy recommendation. I would say this is the best under $30 that I have heard, maybe even under $50. I would say these are better for me compared to the Sabbats. So really nice package in the KZ-S2, just around $30 gets you this kind of sound, hybrid kind of sound, BA with that hybrid configuration, with that detail retrieval, nice tuning also, not that peaky on top. Very nice fit with that fins, really nice look also. The weakness is just the case. I don't like the case overall. The positioning of the USB-C is a bit bad, but sound wise, also package wise, and also the overall tuning and the connection wise, really good in terms of the overall value. Really nice price for $30. For me, frankly, this will definitely a best seller, for around $30 if you're looking for a TWS. So yes, highly recommended this. This is now our $30 TWS King. So that's my review of the KZ-S2. So nice product here by KZ. So even if you're bogged down by the coronavirus or the COVID-19, we still have a very good TWS from KZ. Of course, if you want to get one, use my links down in the comments below from Linsol. They sent me this over for this review for my personal opinion. So it's an unbiased opinion. I just say what I want. And of course, keep safe in the COVID out there. Again, wash your hands, stay home, and keep safe from the virus. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.